Hey, sounds great. Sounds awesome. All right, yeah. First of all, yeah, that just sounds awesome. All right, so yeah,
Great.
thanks. And
Nice to meet
I mean, I wish I was in the room with you because like I know this like FaceTime doesn't really do justice to the sound of the piano, but it sounded awesome. Let's see. So oh yeah, one thing I just wanted to mention was at around measure 90, and there's the same thing around measure 63. If I know like for me after I got home and actually tried that on my piano, it was kind of a stretch that was kind of difficult to do for me. I don't know if like you think it would be make more sense if you changed it in some way, but or I mean it seems like
It's sort of fakeable with the pedal
right.
and switching things around, so I don't think it needs. It's the sort of thing where I ask myself, is it necessary to be that sort of inconvenient for what you want? But it's not undoable. So
Okay. Yeah, I mean it sounded fine. But yeah, I just don't want it to be like a just like a total
no, it's
pain.
it's fine.
Okay. Great.
No, I mean that is a good instinct you have, and like if we were working together on it, in the same room, I would say, what if we this? But it's not
Right.
like I said, it's fakeable, so I wouldn't
Okay,
worry
sure.
about it.
All right, cool.
One thing I was wondering about, this sort of relates to what Andy was saying to Nick about Sibelius, perhaps. There's some places where there's really remarkable contrast and dynamics between the right hand and the left hand. And it looks, from a performer perspective, it looks a little bit sort of, kind of, almost random. It's like, you want me to do that? And I wondered if you did those things because that made it sound right, or were these things that you did because you felt strongly that, no, that the right hand should be, like a totally different dynamic from the left hand. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Did you just
so
sort of
actually
was it right in Sibelius, or?
well, when he said that thing about how like it's easy to kind of make that mistake with the Sibelius, that made a lot of sense to me because yeah, like I definitely think I kind of did that, used kind of like the calibration of Sibelius, and I just put in the whatever made it sound right, listening to the playback on there, and it definitely, yeah, like I see what you mean where you have like sections where it's like
Yeah, like measure 38, for example.
yeah,
I mean, I kind of,
right,
I
yeah,
didn't
we're right
really
there.
put it all out.
Right.
What you
Okay.
said. But
Yeah.
something to keep in mind. Do you play piano yourself?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you probably know, it's like in traditional piano music, and traditional, I mean like something that isn't meant to sound really,
Right.
strikingly. There's usually, either there's one dynamic, and then performers are just sort of use their judgment. It's like, well, this is the melody, this is the accompaniment. They don't play them exactly the same. But, if you wanted forte, you just say forte. You don't have to say a little prior to this. Or if you want something like unusual, like you really don't want to hear the left hand, but like, that's what would really be if it were forte against piano. Which is interesting, and maybe it is what you want. I was sort of quite sure if you were going for that kind of extreme.
Yeah, no, that's not really how I intended it. Yeah, it sounded right when I put it in that way in Sibelius, but I'm sure you can kind of interpret, yeah, like how you're supposed to accompany that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to know. What are people supposed to just sort of know by common sense, and what are you supposed to tell them?
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, yeah. So so I think I know what you.
Okay. Yeah, because the reason I did that is like by default, I think like the higher notes in the right hand were a little bit louder in Sibelius, so I needed to make the bass clef in forte to kind of counterbalance that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And sometimes I do that too because I tell people, oh, don't listen to Sibelius, don't trust Sibelius. But then it's inevitable that you do a certain amount of that. So sometimes I'll put in certain dynamics because it makes it sound right, and then I'll hide them so you don't see them.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
Different.
Also, like about the kind of at the same place, like I know like the retardanos and acceleranos I used were kind of strange too. I mean, I really meant for that kind of be like a rubato section. Like you can like you don't have to do it exactly like that. I just put it in that way because I wanted to kind of hear what it would sound like if you did kind of rubato thing in Sibelius at the time. But like you can interpret that really however you want that part, and give or take time wherever you think would make it sound better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then, so then, like, you could just say rubato, if that's what you're after.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now that you pointed out, that is another place where you sort of feel, it sort of makes you a little bit frantic playing it, because there's like hardly time to do, the retardo, the cello rondo, so it sort of feels like, it's sort of,
Yeah.
it's awkward, but in a way, I wasn't sure that that was bad, because
Okay.
I thought you pulled it off.
it was the possessed piano, right? And there's some things which seem like they're supposed to sound strange,
Okay. Yeah. I see.
unworldly. So it isn't necessarily bad, but it is definitely something that makes you feel uncomfortable playing it.
Okay. All right.
Which you may want to do, but if you don't want to do, then just say, yeah, rubato.
No, like it sounded good the way you did it. Yeah. Okay. Any other like? I mean, I thought everything else in there just sounded great. I liked everything about this. Do you have any other like comments or questions about it?
Those were the ones. I mean, I would do it a little bit differently
Okay.
now that you've sort of given me permission to sort
Okay.
of take some of these things with a grain of salt.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you want to play it again, or were you gonna say something?
Yeah. Yeah, if we have time, I'd love to.
Sure. I was going to ask, what did you think of the tempo at 41? Do you might want that a little bit more held back, a little bit calmer, or
41.
whether
Right
you like
here.
along a little bit more as
Maybe
maybe
more of a tempo contrast.
Let me see.
41.
Yeah, 40. Oh, 41 is. Oh, 41 is right here. Oh, I see. Let's see. Okay,
Maybe-
so yeah, I think like it sounded to me like you played it a little bit faster than I had it written, but
Okay, yeah, I think I did.
okay,
Yeah.
but that actually wasn't a problem, honestly. Like I definitely see how it could kind of
Well, don't be modest. I
no,
mean,
no,
if you-
like I like actually, like I listened to it in our winter concert when they played it in our winter concert, and just like when I listened to it then, it did actually sound a little bit slow. I mean, could you just play that one section again right now, and
Yeah.
so I can kind of listen to it.
No, I'm doing a little bit slower than it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't go any slower than that. Like that sounds to me like good tempo, but I wouldn't go any slower than that. Yeah,
Okay.
and I thought it sounded good the first time.
All right. Should I try the whole thing again?
Yes,
See what-
yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I really like the way it's turning out. That's awesome. Let's see, yeah, I really like the way this is coming out now. Let's see, the one thing I would mention is, if, like, I know I already said before, like, the part of 63 is kind of, like, technically annoying to play, but, if you could go, like, a little bit faster at that part, that I think would sound a little more,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I know I didn't put in an actual tempo marking after the accelerando there, which is why it's kind of confusing. I meant it to be a little closer to the, like, I think the original tempo at, like, the very beginning was a little bit faster, so I meant it to be, yeah, like, pretty close to the original tempo right there at 63.
Okay, great. Yeah,
All right. Okay.
yeah,
Fantastic.
not right.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's great. Okay. And yeah, everything else sounded good to me. I guess let me know if there are any suggestions you had, like just to.
Actually, you just hit the last thing that I forgot to say, which is like, be wary of writing like a crescendo or an accelerando or anything with no end
Right.
point.
Okay.
Get to. But yeah, so now we've sorted that out. It's even better than if I'd said it, because it's like, then I actually did something you didn't intend, and
Okay.
that's good. Now I remember. So, good. Great.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks.